Anna's shoes were dusty from the long train ride, and her hands were shaking. She had come all this way to meet the man who promised to love her. But when he saw her, he turned around like she was nobody. The train had stopped with a loud whistle, and steam rolled over the platform like fog on a cold morning. Anna Keene stepped down, holding tightly to her brown suitcase. It wasn't heavy with clothes, just one Sunday dress, a Bible, a picture of her mother, and a few hopes too big to pack. She looked around the small town. Dust blew in the wind. Children laughed near the water pump. Two women in bonnets crossed the street, carrying baskets of bread. Somewhere in the middle of it all, Anna thought, was a man who had written her letters full of kind words, talk of a lonely ranch, and promises of marriage. Anna smoothed her dress and tried to keep smiling. She knew she wasn't the prettiest. Folks back home used to say she was too much woman for most men. She didn't mind. She had soft arms made for holding children, and a heart full of songs and prayers. That should be enough. Then she saw him, a tall man in a black hat and gray coat. He looked strong and serious. He held her gaze for a long second, then frowned. His eyes dropped to her hands, her hips, her round face. "You're Anna Keene?" he asked. "Yes, sir. I came all the way from Charleston," she said, her voice small but proud. His mouth pressed into a line. "You didn't mention your size." Anna's heart skipped. She opened her mouth to answer, but he held up a hand. "This ain't gonna work," he said flatly. "I need a wife who can keep up with ranch chores. I don't think you're the right fit." Just like that, he turned. His boots clicked on the boards as he walked away. No handshake. No goodbye. No chance. Anna stood there as people bustled past her. She felt like her skin had turned to glass, and everyone could see the crack running through her heart. She walked to the edge of the platform and sat on her suitcase. For a while, she just watched the dust blow around her shoes. Maybe she could take the train back. But what would she return to? A sewing job that barely paid, a room in the back of the bakery, and people who whisper behind her back? No, she had come all this way for something new, something better. If this door closed, maybe another one would open. She didn't know how or where or when, but God did. A loud cry broke her thoughts. A child, no, a little girl, ran across the street, chasing a toy. A wagon came rolling down fast. Horses spooked and wild. People yelled. Anna jumped up without thinking. She ran into the street, grabbed the girl, and rolled both of them to the ground just before the wagon thundered past. The girl clung to Anna's dress, her tiny fingers shaking. "Mama?" the child whimpered. Anna's eyes widened. She looked around. People were running toward them. But for one moment, it was just the two of them, dusty, scared, and holding on like they were meant to belong to each other. "Mama," the girl said again, burying her face in Anna's chest. And that's when everything changed. The little girl called her Mama and wouldn't let go, even when her real father showed up. Anna hadn't come to this town to steal hearts, but one small heart had already found a home in hers. Anna held the girl close, her heart still thumping from the fright. The child was light as a feather, with golden curls and tears on her cheeks. People gathered around, whispering and pointing, but Anna barely noticed. "It's okay now," Anna whispered softly, rocking the girl like she'd done with her baby cousins back home. "You're safe." "Mama," the little one's sob began. "I'm not," Anna started, then stopped. What was she supposed to say? That she was just a stranger passing through? That her dreams had just crumbled like an old cookie? Before she could say anything, a deep voice cut through the crowd. "Lucy!" The girl's head lifted. Anna turned and saw a man pushing through people. He had broad shoulders, dark hair under his hat, and worry all over his face. He dropped to one knee and scooped the girl into his arms. "Lucy, sweetheart, are you hurt?" The girl shook her head and reached back for Anna. "She saved me, Papa." The wagon was big and fast, and she grabbed me. The man looked at Anna. Their eyes met, and for a moment, time felt still. His face was lined with work and sorrow, but his eyes were kind. "Ma'am, thank you. You saved my daughter's life." Anna stood up, brushing dirt from her skirt. Anyone would have done the same. "No," he said. They didn't. You did. He looked around and nodded at a few folks who were still staring. Go on now, it's over. The crowd began to break up, the noise fading. He turned back to Anna. Name, Sam Blake. This is Lucy. Anna gave a small smile. I'm Anna. Anna Keene. Are you new in town? Anna hesitated. Just arrived. Don't have anywhere to stay just yet. Sam looked at her, then at Lucy, who still clung to Anna's hand like a kitten to a warm blanket. Well, he said slowly, you can't sleep on the street after saving my little girl. Oh, I didn't expect. You didn't ask, he said kindly. I offered. We have a guest room. It's plain, but it's dry and clean. Least I can do. Anna bit her lip. Her pride wanted to say no, but her heart, still bruised from that morning, whispered that maybe this was a door God had opened. I suppose I could stay a night, she said, until I figure out what comes next. Sam nodded. That's fair. Lucy grinned and grabbed Anna's hand tighter. You can sleep near my room. Sam chuckled. Let's not scare her off already. The three of them walked down the road together. Anna, with a suitcase and no plan, Lucy, with dirty knees and a sunshine smile, and Sam, with a quiet heart that hadn't known warmth in a long time. They reached a small farmhouse just outside town. White paint peeled from the front porch, and chickens clucked lazily in the yard. A swing hung from an old tree, swaying in the wind. Anna stepped inside and felt something she hadn't felt in weeks. Peace. That night, she sat beside Lucy's bed and sang a quiet hymn her mother used to sing. God sees the sparrow, he sees me too. Lucy yawned and snuggled under her quilt. Sam stood outside the door, listening. He hadn't invited her to stay forever, but a quiet voice inside him whispered, she belongs here. Maybe not just for a night, maybe for good. Anna told herself it was only for one night. But by morning, Lucy was dragging her by the hand to pick eggs, and Sam had already started fixing the door to the guest room like he wanted her to stay. Anna woke early, before the sun had touched the sky. The house was quiet except for the ticking of a clock downstairs. She sat up on the small, creaky bed in the guest room and looked around. The wallpaper was faded and the window glass was wavy and old, but it was the safest place she'd been in a long time. She dressed quickly and tiptoed down the stairs, thinking maybe she could help with breakfast. As she reached the kitchen, she heard the scrape of a chair. Sam Blake sat at the table with a coffee cup in one hand and a Bible in the other. His eyes were fixed on the page, but he looked up when she stepped in. Mornin', he said, his voice rough with sleep. Good morning, Anna replied. I was hoping to be up before everyone. Sam chuckled softly. Lucy tried to sneak into your room at sunrise. She said she wanted you to see her chickens. Anna smiled. She's sweet. She hasn't smiled like that since her mama died, Sam said quietly. Anna felt a weight in her chest. How long has it been? Almost a year now, he said, looking down at his cup. Lucy still cries at night sometimes. I do too, when I'm honest. The room fell quiet, filled only with the sound of the wind outside and the steady tick of the old clock. You're a good father, Anna said softly. Sam didn't answer right away. Then he said, I try, but Lucy needs more than chores and bedtime stories. She needs a mother. The words hung in the air between them. Anna looked away, unsure what to say. She was just a stranger who had shown up yesterday with a broken heart and an empty future. Before she could reply, tiny feet pounded down the stairs. There you are. Lucy beamed, running straight at Anna and grabbing her hand. Come see the hens. Anna laughed and let herself be pulled outside. The morning was cool and golden. Dew sparkled on the grass. The chicken coop sat behind the barn, and a few clucks welcomed them as they approached. This one's Rosie, Lucy said, pointing to a fat red hen. She's bossy, like Miss Nettie at church. Anna giggled. Well, I hope she doesn't sing as loud. Lucy smiled up at her. You're funny, Mama. Anna froze for a second. You can call me Miss Anna, she said gently, brushing hair from Lucy's face. But I want you to be Mama, Lucy said. Anna didn't know what to say. Her throat tightened, but she nodded slowly. Well, we'll see what God has in mind. Back at the house, Sam was already chopping wood. He watched Anna and Lucy through the window. Something stirred in him, quiet and cautious. He didn't believe in quick feelings, not anymore. But he couldn't deny what he saw. Lucy laughing again, Anna humming as she cracked eggs into a pan, the house feeling a little less lonely. Later that day, as Anna helped Lucy with her letters at the kitchen table, Sam cleared his throat. "I've been thinking," he said. "Lucy likes you. You're patient, and she listens to you better than she ever does to me." Anna looked up. "I've been praying for someone to help," Sam continued. "Not just a cook or a maid, but someone to care about her. Maybe you could stay on a while, as a governess." Anna blinked. "A governess?" "Just until you figure out your next step," he added quickly. "Room, board, and a little pay. We'd be glad to have you." Anna looked at Lucy, who was now practicing the letter A, with her tongue sticking out. She didn't have another plan. But maybe, just maybe, this was the beginning of one. "I'd like that," Anna said softly. "I'd like that very much." Sam had always skipped Lucy's prayers, telling himself he was too tired. But that night, as he stood outside her door and listened to Anna's voice, he realized he hadn't just lost a wife. He let go of hope. And maybe, just maybe, Anna had brought it back. The sun had long set behind the hills, and the sky outside the windows was deep blue, speckled with stars. Inside the house, the oil lamp flickered softly, casting gold shadows on the walls. The air smelled of cornbread and soap. Anna helped Lucy into her nightgown, combed her curls gently, and tucked her under the patchwork quilt. The little girl yawned, her thumb halfway to her mouth before she stopped herself. "I'm too big for that," she whispered. Anna smiled. Even big girls need comfort sometimes. She sat on the edge of the bed and looked down at Lucy, who blinked sleepily. "Do you pray every night?" Anna asked. "Not really," Lucy said. "Papa doesn't do it much. Mama used to before she went to heaven." Anna reached for Lucy's hand. "Would you like me to pray with you?" Lucy nodded. Anna closed her eyes. "Dear Father in heaven, thank you for this day. Thank you for keeping Lucy safe. Thank you for warm beds and bread and kind people. And Lord, thank you for second chances. Please help us rest tonight. Amen." Lucy was quiet for a moment. Then she whispered, "Amen." There was a soft creak just outside the door. Anna turned her head slightly and saw a shadow move. Sam was standing there, leaning against the wall, arms crossed. He didn't speak, but his eyes looked different, distant, like he was remembering something he'd once known and forgotten. Anna stood and pulled the door nearly closed behind her. "Didn't mean to eavesdrop," Sam said, clearing his throat. "You weren't," Anna said kindly. "You were listening." He gave a small nod. Lucy sounded peaceful. "She doesn't always. She misses her mama. So do I." They stood in silence, the soft tick of the hall clock, the only sound between them. "I used to believe God listened," Sam said quietly. "After Mary died, it felt like he stopped." Anna folded her hands. "Sometimes, when things break, we think God has gone quiet, but he's always near, even in the hard things." Sam looked at her, and for the first time, she saw pain and something else, something softer, a need he didn't have words for. "I'm not sure I know how to talk to him anymore," he said. "Then let me help," Anna whispered. The words hung in the air between them like the glow from Lucy's candle. Small, warm, and full of promise. Sam nodded slowly. Maybe you were sent here for more than just Lucy." Anna didn't answer. She didn't need to. She just gave a gentle smile, then stepped back into her room and quietly closed the door. And Sam Blake, who hadn't prayed in almost a year, found himself whispering into the darkness as he walked back down the stairs. Thank you for keeping her on that train. Anna had faced cruel word before, but never while holding a child's hand. When the town women whispered behind their gloves, Anna lowered her eyes until Lucy lifted her chin and said, loud and clear, "She's not just my governess. She's my almost mama." The morning sun rose bright and hot. The sky was clear, and the dusty road into town shimmered like it was made of glass. Anna sat beside Lucy in Sam's old wagon, her hands resting in her lap. She didn't want to go to town, not really, but they needed flour, sugar, and fabric for Lucy's dress. "It's just a few things," Sam had said. "Won't take long." Now, as they pulled up to the general store, Anna felt eyes turn her way. People on the porch paused mid-conversation. Two older women with gray bonnets stopped sorting through apples and watched her with raised eyebrows. Anna stepped down, helping Lucy out of the wagon. Sam had stayed back at the ranch to fix the fence. So it was just her and the little girl, and the feeling of too many eyes. Inside the store, the air was cooler but thick with whispers. "Is that her? The mail-order girl? I heard he didn't even marry her. Poor thing. Too big for a bride. Guess she'll take what she can get." Anna's cheeks burned. She kept her eyes on the shelves, counting flour sacks like they were numbers in a prayer. She was used to words like that. But hearing them here in this new place, while Lucy stood beside her, made them hurt in a different way. She reached for a bag of sugar, her hands shaking slightly. One of the women behind her laughed softly. She's got a bold spirit, dragging that child around like she's her own. Before Anna could turn around, Lucy did. She marched up to the woman like a little soldier, hands on her hips. "She is my own," Lucy said loudly. "She's not just my governess. She's my almost mama, and God sent her." The room went quiet. The woman's mouth opened, but nothing came out. Anna blinked, stunned. Lucy turned back and took her hand proudly. "You said God's near, right?" she whispered. Anna nodded, heart full. "Well, I think he heard me," Lucy said, "when I asked for someone like you." Anna knelt down and hugged her tight, right there between sacks of beans and shells of buttons. Tears ran down her cheeks, but they weren't sad ones. They were the kind that healed old wounds. On the way back home, a few people nodded at her kindly. One man even tipped his hat. Sam was waiting on the porch when they returned. He saw Anna's red eyes and stiff shoulders. "Trouble in town?" he asked. Anna started to answer, but Lucy jumped down from the wagon first. "I told him she's my almost mama," Lucy said, and nobody argued after that. Sam looked at Anna, surprised, but something in his face changed. Softer, warmer, like he saw her again for the first time. He didn't say much, just helped carrying the sacks, and made sure Anna had the rocker by the fire that evening. But later that night, while Lucy slept and Anna was folding laundry, Sam said quietly from the doorway, "She's not the only one who's starting to hope you'll stay." And this time, Anna didn't look away. The wind howled like it was trying to steal the roof right off the house. But it was Sam's hand finding Anna's in the dark that made her heart pound the loudest. It started as a quiet wind, just brushing the grass. Then the trees began to shake. By supper, the windows were rattling, and the sky outside turned the color of dirty wool. Sam came in from the barn, wet from rain and smelling of hay and leather. He shut the door hard behind him. "Storm's coming fast," he said. "Could be a rough one." Anna helped Lucy into her nightgown early. She lit a second lantern and placed it on the floor, just in case the power from the little generator gave out again. Sam checked every window, every latch, every corner of the house. He moved like a man who'd done this before, quiet but firm. "I've seen these spring storms drop trees like matchsticks," he said. Lightning flashed outside. Lucy whimpered and ran to Anna, hiding her face in her skirt. "It's just noise," Anna whispered gently. "We're safe. You're safe." They all sat in the parlor for a while, waiting. The wind roared louder, shaking the walls and whistling through the chimney. Rain smacked against the roof like someone throwing gravel from heaven. The lights blinked twice, then went out. Darkness filled the room. Anna reached for Lucy, but the little girl was already curled in her lap. "I don't like this," she whispered. "I know, sweetheart," Anna said softly. "But storms don't last forever." Sam came over with a lantern. The warm glow lit up his face, and for the first time, Anna saw the worry behind his eyes. "Should we go to the cellar?" she asked. "Not yet. Just stay together." And that's what they did. They sat close on the couch, Anna holding Lucy, Sam sitting beside them, his eyes on the windows. Outside, a tree groaned. Then something slammed, hard, against the side of the house. Lucy cried out. Anna gasped. Sam stood and went to the door. I'll check it, he said. Anna stood too. Not alone. Sam turned. It's rough out there. I'm not scared of wind, Anna said, her voice steady. I'm scared of losing people. They locked eyes for a moment, and something passed between them that didn't need words. Outside, the porch roof had lost a few shingles. A branch had hit the sidewall, but missed a window. Together, they nailed a tarp across the open space, working by lantern light, and holding each other steady when the wind pushed hard. When they came back in, soaked and shivering, Lucy was asleep under the quilt, her thumb in her mouth. Anna went to check on her, then stood up and turned toward Sam. He was by the fireplace, trying to dry his shirt. You didn't have to help, he said, but I'm glad you did. You shouldn't face storms alone, she answered. Sam looked at her, really looked at her, and stepped closer. My wife, Mary, she used to say storms show you who you really trust. Anna felt her heart beat faster. And who you really need. The room was quiet again, but not because the wind had stopped. It was because something in their hearts had changed, something unspoken, something tender. Sam reached out and gently took Anna's hand. I think God knew I needed someone who wouldn't run when things got hard, he said. Anna didn't pull away. Her hand stayed in his. And I think, she whispered, he knew I needed somewhere to belong. They stood like that for a long moment, hand in hand, hearts wide open, while the storm raged on outside. Anna had made peace with the man who rejected her until his letter came, saying he changed his mind. But her heart didn't jump when she read his name. It only ached when she thought about leaving Lucy and Sam. The sun returned like a shy friend the next morning. Rainwater sparkled in puddles. Birds chirped like they were making up for all the silence during the storm. And the Blake ranch smelled of wet dirt and warm hay. Inside, things felt quiet too, but not heavy, peaceful, like something had settled. Anna hummed as she poured milk into Lucy's oatmeal. Sam sat at the table, sipping his coffee and watching them with soft eyes. His hand brushed Anna's lightly when she handed him a spoon. Neither of them pulled away. It felt like the start of something real. Then came the knock at the door. Sam went to answer it, expecting it to be a neighbor checking on storm damage. But it was the postman. Got a letter here from Miss Anna Keene, he said. Anna stood, surprised. For me? The envelope was thick, cream-colored, and neatly sealed. Her name was written in a hand she knew well, sharp, careful, and cold. It was from him, the man who had rejected her at the train station. Sam saw her hands tremble slightly as she held the letter. Everything all right? He asked. I don't know yet, Anna said. She slipped outside with it, needing air. She sat on the porch step, the same one Lucy had tripped over last week, and opened the letter slowly. Dear Miss Keene, I write with regret. I was unkind to you at the station, and I realize now what a fool I was. My brother's wife met you in town and spoke kindly of you. I believe I let my pride and judgment cloud what could have been a good match. If you are still unwed and willing, I would be honored to try again. Please write back. There was no I'm sorry in his letter. No warmth. Just facts. Polite words from a man who had made her feel small. Anna folded the paper and stared out across the fields. Behind her, the door creaked open. Sam stepped out. You okay? Anna held out the letter. It's from a man I was supposed to marry. Sam read it quickly, jaw tight. He rejected you, then changed his mind because of gossip, he said. That's not repentance. That's pride. Anna looked up. So what do I do? Sam sat beside her, his eyes on the sky. That's not for me to say. But it is, she said, her voice small, because I don't know if I belong here. You took me in because Lucy got attached. I stayed because I didn't have anywhere else. Sam turned to her then, really turned. His voice was low and steady. You belong here, Anna, not because of Lucy, because of what you brought into this house. Peace, prayer, laughter. He paused. And because I want you here. Her heart beat fast. I don't need to read more letters, Sam said. I just need to know what's in your heart. Anna looked at him, then at the fields, then at her hands. "I want to stay," she whispered. "If I'm wanted." Sam took her hand, just like he had during the storm. "You are." From inside, Lucy called out, "Mama Anna, come see the baby chicks." Anna smiled through tears. She looked at the letter one last time, then tucked it beneath the porch floorboards, where wind and weather would take care of it. She had already chosen her answer. Sam had asked God for strength to raise his daughter. He never expected the answer would come in the shape of a woman who prayed over burnt biscuits and tucked his child in like she'd been born to do it. The fields were still muddy from the storm, but the sky was clear again. Sam stood in the tall grass, hands in his pockets, eyes lifted to clouds. He wasn't a man who cried often, not since Mary died, but his eyes were wet now, and he didn't bother to wipe them. He didn't know how to say what he needed to say out loud, not to people. But maybe God would hear it. "I didn't think I'd get another chance," he said softly. "I thought love was a one-time gift. And when I buried her, I buried that too." The wind moved the grass gently. A hawk circled far overhead. "But you sent Anna. She didn't come with a ring or a ribbon. She came with bruised pride and a heart full of kindness. And Lord, she changed everything." He looked down at the earth. "I don't know if I deserve her. I don't know if I'll be enough. But if it's right, if you say yes, I want to try." Back at the house, Anna was brushing Lucy's hair on the porch. Lucy held a chick in her lap, giggling as it chirped. Sam walked up slowly, his boots crunching softly on gravel. His shirt was still damp with sweat and dust, and his face was serious, but not heavy. Anna looked up and smiled. "Everything all right?" "Yeah," he said. "Everything's better than I deserve." She tilted her head, curious. "I've got something to ask you," Sam said, "if you've got a minute." Anna stood, brushing feathers off her skirt. "Go ahead." Sam took her hand. He didn't kneel. He wasn't much for show, but he held her hand gently, like it was made of something precious. "I don't want you to be just Lucy's governess. I don't want you to be a guest or a helper or someone passing through." Anna's breath caught. "I want you to be my wife," he said. "Not because I'm lonely or because it's convenient, but because I've seen the way you care and pray and love, and because I've come to love you, Anna." She stared at him, her heart pounding. She didn't expect the tears, but they came anyway, soft and steady. "You mean it?" she whispered. "With all I've got," he said. She laughed through tears. Then, "Yes, yes, Sam Blake, I'll marry you." From the porch, Lucy cheered so loud the chick fluttered off her lap. "Mama and Papa," she squealed. Anna and Sam both turned, and their laughter joined hers in the warm spring air. No church bells, no crowd, just one promise made between the man who thought he'd lost everything and the woman who thought no one would ever choose her. And God, quiet, steady, always near, smiled over the fields. Anna had once been told she wasn't strong enough for ranch life. But now, as thunder rumbled in the distance and she clung to Sam's hand in labor, she knew no one had ever been more ready to bring a child into the world. The wildflowers were blooming again. Yellow and purple blossoms painted the edges of the fence line, and the apple tree by the porch wore a crown of white petals. It had been almost a year since Anna stepped off that train with nothing but a suitcase and a trembling heart. Now she stood in the same place, but this time she was barefoot, round with child, and watching Lucy chase a kite Sam had built from sticks and paper. "Don't run too far, sweet pea," she called. Lucy waved back, her curls bouncing. "I won't, Mama." The word Mama still made Anna's chest ache, but it was a sweet ache now, like a hymn that stirred something deep inside. Sam came up behind her, wrapping one arm around her waist. His hand rested gently on the swell of her belly. "You all right? Just feeling thankful," she whispered. "You sure it's not contractions?" he teased. Anna gave him a look. "Don't joke. It could be any day." As it turned out, it was at night. The sky turned dark early. A storm rolled in again, different from the one before, but just as loud. Wind shook the shutters and thunder echoed through the hills. And in the middle of it all, Anna's water broke. Sam helped her to bed, calm but pale. He sent Lucy next door to stay with Miss Nettie and called for the town midwife. But by the time help arrived, Anna was already gripping the bed sheets and whispering prayers through clenched teeth. "It hurts," she gasped. "I know," Sam said, holding her hand. "But you're doing so good. Don't let go," she begged. "I won't," he said. The hours felt like days. Anna pushed, cried, prayed, and held on to Sam like he was the only solid thing in the world. Then, just before dawn, a cry filled the room. A loud, strong, healthy cry. The midwife smiled and held up a red-faced baby boy. "It's a son," she said. Anna wept, too tired to speak. Sam took the baby in his arms, eyes wide and shining. He looked down at Anna. "You did it," he whispered. "We did," she said weakly. Together, the baby was placed against her chest. He smelled like something new and holy. Anna kissed his soft forehead and closed her eyes. Later, when Lucy came home and met her baby brother, she whispered to him, "You're the luckiest baby in the world. You got Mama and Papa." Sam stood behind them, arms crossed, heart full. The storm had passed, and in the quiet that followed, there was only peace and love and the promise of forever. Anna had once stood alone at a train station, heartbroken and unwanted. Now, she stood on her own porch, arms open wide, ready to welcome women just like she once was. 3 springs had passed since Anna first stepped onto Sam Blake's land. The apple tree had bloomed 3 times. Lucy had grown taller, and a toddler with Sam's eyes now ran barefoot through the garden, chasing butterflies with sticky fingers. Anna watched him from a porch, rocking slow and steady, a sleeping baby girl in her arms. The newest little Blake, born just 2 weeks ago beneath the blooming lilacs. Inside the house, Sam was mending a crib rail. Lucy was writing a letter to a girl named Cora, a mail-order bride who had never made it to her groom, and who now had nowhere else to go. But she had them. It started with one woman, then another. Word had spread slowly. The Blakes taken mail-order brides with nowhere to go. If your plan failed, go to Hope Hill Ranch. Anna hadn't named it. The women had. Hope Hill, it fit. Most of them arrived thin, scared, and silent. Some had been rejected like Anna had. Others had run from worse. But all of them were welcome with the same simple kindness. A warm meal, a clean room, and no questions they didn't want to answer. One girl, barely 17, wept for 3 days straight before she finally smiled again. Another, strong and sharp-tongued, ended up staying for good, teaching Lucy to ride and helping Sam repair the barn roof after a summer storm. The Blake home had grown, not in size, but in purpose. Sam never complained. He said God didn't build barns to stay empty. He built them to shelter souls. And Anna, who once believed she was too big, too broken, too less than, now stood as proof that God doesn't forget those who fall through the cracks. That evening, with the fireflies blinking in the fields and the porch glowing soft with lantern light, Anna kissed the baby's cheek and laid her down beside her brother. She stepped outside, where Sam was lighting the final lantern at the gate. "You think she'll come?" Anna asked. "Cora." Sam nodded. "If she's anything like you, she's already halfway here." Anna smiled. Behind them, the house glowed warm. Windows full of laughter and prayer and the creak of floorboards where hearts had healed. They weren't rich. They weren't fancy. But they had enough. Enough food. Enough space. Enough love. Anna looked out at the dark road, winding through the hills. Somewhere, a train was coming. Somewhere, a girl would step down with trembling hands and a suitcase full of hope. And this time she wouldn't be alone. Years passed, and time moved slow like a hymn in church. The children grew. Lucy became a young woman with her mother's strength and her father's heart. Sam Jr. took over the barn chores, always whistling, always kind. Little Ellie, the baby born in the bloom of spring, now ran barefoot to the same fields where her mama once cried alone. And Anna, now with silver streaks in her dark hair, still rocked gently on the porch each evening, a cup of tea in her hands and a Bible in her lap. She and Sam never stopped welcoming others. The house had changed. It was larger now, with more rooms, more beds, and more chairs around the dinner table. But the heart of it stayed the same. A table set for whoever came hungry. A lamp in the window, for those who were lost, and arms that always opened wide. Some of the women stayed just a little while, long enough to rest, to heal, to start again. Others never left. They became aunts, teachers, cooks, or sisters. The Blake Ranch turned into something more than just a home. It became a safe place, a whisper of heaven on earth. One day, many years later, a little girl climbed on Anna's lap, a new arrival, scared and quiet. "Are you the mama here?" the child asked softly. Anna smiled and brushed a curl behind the girl's ear. "No," she said gently, "but I'm someone who remembers what it's like not to have one. So maybe that makes me close enough." The porch creaked under the weight of the evening breeze. Somewhere in the kitchen, Sam laughed. The children chased shadows across the field, and Anna leaned back, her heart full. She had been rejected once. But that rejection led her to a house with a creaky floor, a widowed man with eyes full of quiet strength, a child who called her mama, and a calling that turned sorrow into shelter. She wasn't just a mail-order bride anymore. She was a keeper of the porch light, and as long as that light was shining, someone, somewhere, would find their way home.